Most traders overload their charts with too many indicators. And honestly, that problem can get even worse with Renko charts. But in my own testing, I've found something interesting. Simpler Renko indicator combinations usually work better than complex systems packed with filters. In this video, I'll walk through the Renko indicators I actually think are useful in TradingView, including moving averages, Supertrend, RSI, MACD, and ATR. I'll also explain how Renko charts change the behavior of indicators and how I personally think about combining them without cluttering the chart. Before we talk about indicators, I think there's one very important concept most traders miss with Renko charts. Traditional indicators were originally designed for time-based charts. For example, RSI 14 on a daily candlestick chart is based on the last 14 daily candles. But Renko charts work differently. Renko bricks are not based on time. They are based on price movement. So on a Renko chart, RSI 14 is not measuring the last 14 days. It's measuring the last 14 Renko bricks. That changes how indicators behave. And honestly, I think this is one reason Renko indicators often look cleaner than indicators on candlestick charts. Because Renko compresses a lot of smaller market noise. But it also means we should think about indicators differently. Instead of treating them as strict time-based measurements, I think it's more useful to think of them as tools measuring directional price movement through Renko structure. And once you understand that shift, Renko indicators start making a lot more sense. Hi everyone, I'm Carl. Welcome back to the Renko Trading channel. Before we start, this content is for educational and experimental purposes only. It is not financial advice. Always do your own research before making any investment decisions. Now that we understand how Renko changes indicator behavior, let's talk about why some indicators still work very well with Renko charts. Traditional candlestick charts update continuously based on time. Renko charts only update when price moves enough to form a new brick. That means smaller fluctuations often disappear. And because of that, many indicators can appear smoother, cleaner, and less noisy on Renko charts. Sometimes that's a huge advantage. But sometimes it can also create a false sense of confidence if the brick size is not set properly. This is why I always say, brick size comes first. Indicators come second. If the brick size is too small, almost every indicator will become noisy. If the brick size is too large, signals can become delayed. The first indicator I still use regularly with Renko charts is moving averages. Especially exponential moving averages. Moving averages work well on Renko charts because Renko already smooths price action. That combination can make trends easier to identify. What I usually look for is price staying above an EMA during uptrends, pullbacks holding support, and trend continuation after consolidation. I personally think moving averages work best on Renko charts as trend filters, dynamic support and resistance, and directional bias, not as standalone buy and sell signals. One mistake I see traders make is stacking too many moving averages together. On Renko charts, simpler usually works better. Supertrend is probably one of the cleanest Renko indicators for trend-following traders. Why? Because it visually matches the simplicity of Renko charts. The main advantage is clarity. You can often stay in trends longer without reacting emotionally to every small pullback. But there's an important warning here. Supertrend can struggle during sideways markets. If the market starts chopping around, you may get multiple flips and false entries. That's why I prefer combining Supertrend with proper brick sizing, basic structure analysis, and trend lines, or even a simple moving average filter. The goal is not perfection. The goal is reducing unnecessary trades. RSI and MACD are momentum indicators. And momentum confirmation can actually work very well with Renko charts. But I think many traders misuse these indicators. For example, people often try to predict reversals with RSI. Instead, I think RSI works better on Renko charts as a pullback confirmation tool, especially during strong trends. On Renko charts, RSI is reacting to brick movement, not traditional time intervals. MACD can also become cleaner on Renko charts because Renko removes some smaller price fluctuations. What I usually look for is momentum confirmation, agreement with the main trend, and confirmation after consolidation. Not random crossover chasing. One thing I try to avoid is stacking RSI, MACD, stochastic, CCI, and several other momentum indicators together. Most of those tools are measuring similar behavior. That often creates lag instead of clarity. ATR may not be my favorite entry indicator, but it's one of the most important tools for Renko chart setup. Because ATR directly affects brick size. And brick size changes almost everything like trend appearance, signal frequency, noise reduction, indicator behavior, and backtesting results. This is one reason why two traders can use the exact same indicator settings and still get completely different results on Renko charts. Their brick sizes are different. I think this is one of the most overlooked parts of Renko trading. After years of experimenting with Renko charts, I personally think the best combinations are usually simple. And honestly, I usually test indicators individually first before combining only one or two together. Especially because many TradingView users are working with limited indicator slots anyway. Here are a few combinations I like. Renko plus EMA for trend direction. Renko plus Supertrend for trend confirmation. Renko plus RSI for pullback strength. Renko plus MACD for momentum confirmation. And ATR for adaptive brick sizing. What I try to avoid is building charts that look like a cockpit dashboard. Too many indicators often create conflicting signals, hesitation, overfitting, and analysis paralysis. I've found that simpler systems are usually easier to follow consistently. They're easier to backtest, easier to tweak over time, and a lot easier emotionally when the market starts doing weird things. Here are some of the biggest mistakes I see traders make with Renko indicators. Using too many indicators. Using tiny brick sizes. Constantly changing settings after losses. Ignoring overall trend structure. And blindly trusting indicator signals without understanding market conditions. No indicator is perfect. Indicators are tools, not magic. And honestly, I think Renko works best when indicators support the chart structure instead of replacing it. If you want to explore these indicators further, I'll link the full article below where I break down each indicator in more detail with examples and visuals. And if you've experimented with different Renko indicator combinations yourself, let me know in the comments what has worked best for you. That's a wrap on today's breakdown. Thanks so much for watching. If you found this helpful, give it a like and hit subscribe for more Renko trading insights. Don't forget the bell icon, and I'll see you in the next one.